What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Football Capital and welcome back to another edition of our Player and Fixture Watch. This is a follow-up to our last week's episode where we looked at three teams with the best fixtures, which were Liverpool, Man United and Tottenham Hotspurs. And today we're going to go through the teams with the worst
fixtures.
Fixture difficulty ratings for the upcoming game weeks. Now, before we get into that, we're going to look at some of
recap from our picks.
Some of the picks some of the plays that we picked out from them three teams, and
we'll start with Liverpool.
Before
we do go ahead, I do want to mention, out of the 9, we did pretty good.
6 out of 9.
Take away the 3 keepers, 6 out of 9.
6 out of 9. So
the field players for each team we picked, I think, pretty spot on. The goalkeepers all conceded all around, and we'll go through that now. So starting off with Liverpool. Now, we saw Alisson obviously concede 3 goals this game. Now, like we mentioned in the previous video, Liverpool only conceded 3 goals all season at Anfield, whereby Crystal Palace managed to put 3 against them this game. So Alisson with only 1 point for game week 23. Now, you look at his defensive man that sits in front of him, which has been a consistent player that we picked. We think he's been the highest defender all season so far, Andrew Robertson. Andrew Robertson had 5 points, assisting that goal. Although he conceded 3 goals, still got the 5 points, total of 129 points now. And again, Salah, he's doing it week in, week out. 2 goals, 15 points, total of 177 total this season. Highest player still in fantasy, of course. And captain-wise, unbelievable. 30 points if you captain him this week.
Now we went over to Manchester United. Now, very similar with the goalkeepers. He conceded just the 1 goal. So David De Gea had 2 points, which brings his total to 76. Now we also, our 2 other picks were Paul Pogba and Marcus Rashford. Both picking up 8 points, both scoring them 2 goals and both playing the 90 minutes, Rashford coming off during that injury time period. So the Manchester United players are getting the points. They do got some good fixtures still to come, and look, there's more chances. Like we said earlier, Rashford has now taken over Lukaku's spot starting, so more chance for more goals there, and also Paul Pogba taking penalties, assists and goals to his name as well. He's definitely, and the price tags will definitely be going up. Now, our final team that we had, Tottenham Hotspur.
Now, this was an interesting one, Laurie's on 3 points. Again, like the other keepers, he conceded a goal. And look, we spoke about the importance of the fact that Kane's now injured for 2 months. Son's gone to international duties. So we went with 2 midfielders this time with Tottenham. Now, we went with Eriksen and Dele Alli. Eriksen and Dele Alli were interesting choices. We spoke about how important they are to stand up now because the other players are out. How did Dele Alli go for us this previous week?
Look, Dele Alli, I think he didn't play the 90 minutes. He did pick up a little hamstring injury. He's 75% doubtful, but in this game, he did score a goal, which Eriksen did assist. So Dele Alli with the 9 points, so it's great if you had him in your team, and Eriksen with the assist and the 90 minutes as well. Now, guys, we're going to go into teams that got the worst fixture difficulty rating in the upcoming game weeks. Our 3 teams that we have are Bournemouth, Leicester City and Watford. Now, all 3 teams are sitting on a fixture difficulty rating of 18.
Out of 5 games.
We'll start off with Bournemouth. Now, Bournemouth next game is at home to Chelsea, followed by Cardiff, Liverpool, Wolverhampton, and then away to Arsenal. And even after them 5 fixtures, they do have a home game against Manchester City. So you're looking at 6 difficult fixtures for Bournemouth. Now, is this a time where you'll be looking to maybe get some of them Bournemouth players out? Players like Fraser, Wilson, King, even David Brooks. They've all been doing well in the last couple of game weeks. They did win last week to West Ham. But is it now time to start moving these players on and maybe getting them back after that game against Manchester City, where you do see them have an easier run with Huddersfield, Newcastle, Leicester, Burnley, and then with Brighton? To be honest, even after that, after the City game, the next hardest game is in the second last week against Tottenham Hotspur.
So after the 6 rounds,
time
to have him.
Maybe is it time to maybe bring him back in after that? What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. Next we had Leicester City.
So Leicester's next 5 fixtures are Liverpool away, Man United at home, Tottenham away, Crystal Palace at home, and Bournemouth at home, which have a fixture difficulty rating of 18, like we said at Bournemouth. Now, their first game against obviously City is 5. Then we see them play 4, 5, 2, and 2. So, like I mentioned, they're versing top clubs. Yeah, United, Tottenham, Liverpool, and then obviously Crystal Palace and Bournemouth at home isn't too difficult at all.
They got one of the worst fixtures coming up, so maybe be wary of having these players in, especially if you've got any sort of defenders. I got Pereira in my team. He's been killing it this season, so maybe it's time to maybe bring him off. Or
he's a defensive player, so they could be eating goals now.
That's one of the.
Yeah.
But even though he's been getting some of the points, some great points, maybe it's time to move him on. But then we had our next game is Watford.
Yeah.
Now Watford again another team with 18 fixture difficulty rating. 5, 3, 3, 2, and 5.
That's Tottenham away, Bournemouth at home. Bournemouth away, Everton at home, Cardiff away, and then they see Liverpool away. So look, the first and the fifth game out of the next 5 fixtures are the difficult ones with Tottenham and Liverpool. In between is not so bad, but then they face Leicester after that, and then Man City away. So
they only got that one win in the last 5
games.
And the next game is a tough one against Tottenham, but they do have the 2 weeks to recover, and you never know. Tottenham got plenty of injuries. So they could a surprise victory there. Now I just want to touch on a few other teams on a fixture difficulty rating of 16. Newcastle, Huddersfield, and West Ham. Not a lot of managers will have a lot of the players in their starting lineup. Maybe you have a few on the bench. Keep an eye out on some of these teams. Maybe not to bring them in, even though some of them are fighting for relegation and might even pick up some points. Huddersfield haven't won in the last 5. Newcastle, they've been in some decent form. They did pick up a 3-0 victory on the weekend. They do play Manchester City in the next game. So that's another tricky one. And also West Ham, they play Wolves, which is not a difficult fixture, but Wolverhampton do sit just 1 point above them on the table. Yeah. So it still could be a tricky one for them, especially with the next fixtures coming up for West Ham against Liverpool, Crystal Palace, rounding it off then with in that last match against Manchester City. So they do have tricky fixtures.
Look, with Arnautovic rumoured that he's going to be leaving the club, the manager obviously announced last week that he was not going to play. He didn't play against Bournemouth. Bournemouth obviously winning 2-0 against West Ham. It's already showing that I guess their up-front presence is going to be lacking quite a bit.
So West Ham, it's going to be difficult for them.
Yeah.
But the 3 main ones that just sit under that fixture difficulty rating of 18. Also, 2 of them with 16, which is Manchester City and Chelsea, followed by Liverpool. So these are 3 teams that are in the top of the table.
And Liverpool's on 15 fixture difficulty rating.
Liverpool's on that 15 difficulty rating. Now, we'll start off with Manchester City.
Yeah, so look, Man City's next 5 coming games, they've got Newcastle away, Arsenal at home, Chelsea at home, Everton away, West Ham at home. So, look, they then find themselves obviously in game week 31 against United, but in the next 5, Chelsea and Arsenal may be tricky for them.
So, guys, what do you reckon with some of these City players? Look, City, 1 loss in the last 5, so they are in good form. Next game against Newcastle away. Newcastle are fighting for that relegation. Could they cause them any problems? But then the next 2 fixtures against Chelsea and Arsenal, is it time to move some of these players on, or are the City players good enough to still be getting the points in them game weeks, especially against Chelsea and Arsenal? So you let us know, guys, in the comments. Keep the City players, or do we move them on? And then we go on to Chelsea. Now Chelsea also with a difficulty rating of 16 with 3, 2, 5, 2, and 4.
That's Bournemouth away, Huddersfield at home, City away, Bournemouth at home, and then Tottenham at home. Now,
so their manager has come out after the Arsenal game and said the players are difficult to motivate. Is this a sign that Chelsea are crumbling? Their form hasn't been too bad with 3 wins, 1 draw, and just that 1 loss. But against some of the teams here, City and Tottenham, and they have players like Hazard, Willian, Pedro haven't really been stepping up to the mark, haven't really been picking up the points. Even players like Alonso, who was killing it all season, hasn't really been getting the points. So is it time to move some of these players on as well? But then we have Liverpool. Now, Liverpool flying 4 points clear on top of the table, even though they do have a fixture difficulty rating of 15. Is it something for Liverpool to worry? With the next game coming up against Leicester, which, like we mentioned, haven't been doing too well with some of their main players not firing. Then against West Ham, will Arnautovic stay or will he leave? We don't know. But that will definitely be a big factor, because we do know that Arnautovic likes to score against the big teams, and we've seen it this season. They're at home to Bournemouth before that big game against Manchester United. So Is there any concern for Liverpool, even though with that difficulty rating?
Nah.
Even in the last couple of games, they haven't been playing too well, still getting the results.
To be fair on Liverpool's behalf, now the next 5 games I don't think are difficult. They're not a concern. I know the difficult rating is 15. United's only a massive challenge there, to be honest with you. But to be fair to their backline, with Matip playing for the first time in a long time in the backline, obviously with Lovren missing, and obviously with Milner playing as a right back because they had players out in the back. So look, their defence wasn't their full strength of the backline, but like you said, is it going to be now floodgates open for the rest of the Premier League to score against them?
Yeah. So yes, guys, if this video was helpful, make sure you hit that like button and also hit that subscribe button as well. Hit the bell so you get all the notification of all our upcoming videos, and we'll see you next week.